Welcome back to another episode of the Sabre Report podcast. My name is Jonah.
And I'm JP.
And as always, we will be talking to you about all things Buffalo Sabres hockey and even a little bit of the wider NHL. Sometimes, when we're feeling like it. I mean, we got a good dose last episode. 20 minutes or so spent on the
Your favorite
disgusting piece of existence that is the Carolina Hurricanes. Gave them a good 20 minutes of attention. Too much attention.
Are you going to acknowledge that they've won a game since your rant?
No.
Could be some...
Reinhart didn't play. Doesn't count. Doesn't count. Does not count. In any case, in this episode, if you've been tuned into our social channels, whether that be Twitter or Instagram, we asked you to send in some questions, topics, just for us to toss around. We're in that weird point, we're a month away from the draft, actually less than a month away. A month from today is day 2 of the NHL draft. But still got a round, and I guess with both series being 3-1 at this point, a quarter, you got about a round and a quarter left of hockey this season. So we're getting really close, but still kind of waiting for the dam to break. So we figured it was a really good time to do a mailbag, and here we are.
And there's some rumors dropping now. Like I feel like at least like some off-season rumors are starting to come up, especially with these two series kind of being, pretty boring series, nothing too crazy happening. So it's at least nice to see that the off-season's starting a little early.
Yep, 28 teams are done, and it's basically 30 at this point. But yeah, the teams are starting to talk, starting to get a better situation, starting to get a better understanding of where their summers are headed. So yeah, the off-season talk is starting. We had Marco Rossi's name thrown around today on Twitter. Obviously, even guys that are still in the playoffs. Sam Bennett is the talk of the town right now. We're gonna get into him once we get into the questions. But yeah, off season it's almost here. So we figured this was a good time to do a mailbag and in advance of the summer to come. So got a lot of responses, got a lot of interesting and different questions. So as always, thank you for sending those in. And if we didn't get to yours, we read them, and a lot of these have overlap. So if maybe we didn't read out your specific question, but the topic that you wanted us to touch on it will probably be covered. The only thing, no Christian today, just JP and I. So he did say he might hop on. I don't know. Don't know what he's got going on. You never know what he's got going on in his life. So maybe he'll make an appearance. I don't know. I would be happy to be surprised. So, in any case, without further ado, why don't we just get right into it? We'll start the questions now. So, inevitably, a lot of questions about the front office and the coaching staff in particular. So we'll start there. Well, this one comes from Mike Lipinski on Twitter. Why have the Sabres not announced any changes to their coaching staff? They were clearly not good enough last year. Do Adams and Pegula have any idea how bad the defensive system is or the power play?
I think that's a great question because it's one I'm asking myself every day. I don't understand how they've made no coaching changes with everything that went wrong last year, with Lindy never hiring one of his own coaches. I mean, it's baffling, really. Like, nothing about it. Not even like last year, Matt Ellis, he moved from the bench to the press box. Like, not even like that. Or not even saying, Seth Appert isn't going to be running the power play anymore. Someone else is going to be doing that. It's literally been completely quiet, which is absurd.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Jason Christie was the only coach to go besides Don Granato last year. So last year's team had more coaching movement than this year. It's funny. It's funny how we've been. There's a lot to attend to when it comes to this teams. You discuss the obviously front office, the roster itself, whether that be the contract situations of somebody like JJ Paterka or Bowen Byram who are topping tray bait boards, or you're talking about the defense is probably the plan of attack. It's funny that when the season ended, everybody was so focused on the coaches, but then the senior advisor got kind of dangled in front of us, and that's where kind of the attention is gone, and it's slowly, as the days have gone by, and it's like, yeah, they haven't announced anything about with their coaching staff, not one change. Why that's the case? Is there any reason for it other than just
just continue it, just to have more consistency. That's literally the only thing I can think of, which I think is like I get the point. We can be changing up so much as an organization, and that's probably part of the reason why we aren't good sometimes, because you got new coaches, new GMs all the time. Like, I get it, but like, your power play has sucked for like 5 or 6 years. Like, bring in someone specifically for it. It's baffling, and there's been names out there. I mean, Michael Pekka, who I know, a lot of people in Buffalo obviously a fan of. Like, he was out there. He just got hired by Chicago. Like, it's not like there's not names out there that you can't find. It's I don't know. I don't really understand it. I mean, I even talked last episode or 2 episodes ago about Mike Bales, the goalie coach. Like, they need it's. I really don't get how there's no coaching changes at all.
Yeah, you bring up Bales. I'll actually, this isn't defending Appert, but at least with him, like, he has an excuse where this is his first year on the bench. It's similar to Lindy. Why is Marty Wilford still employed here? And same thing with, he's even with Mike Bales, he has Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen that he's made a starting goaltender out of. Now, he was not good at all this year, but Christian's in here.
We've got a new friend.
What's up?
You kind of interrupted me.
Yeah, what the hell?
My bad. Am I going to screw up the audio too?
No. Well, maybe, I don't know.
Sounds fine. How about, why don't you talk about that? There's been no changes to the coaching staff. What are your thoughts?
We're starting off hot.
Yeah, that's what we've been talking about for the last 5 minutes. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It just seems like it's business as usual. Am I surprised? No.
Yeah. No, you just caught me kind of coming to Seth Appert's defense a little bit here, because I said he's the only one with a little bit of an excuse, because it's his first year. It's similar to Lindy, where you're not going to fire him after his first year. Now, his responsibilities probably should be changed, but somebody like Marty Wilford, who was on Don Granato's staff and has been a part of the coaching staff since 2021, and now you're witnessing a team that has never had a great penalty kill. I think it's been better, but overall his job's the defense, and the defense is what it is. It's the main plan of attack this summer, and the coach who's been here for going on 5 years now is still employed. It doesn't make sense. It just does not make any sense whatsoever.
And I feel like some of the solutions they've made to this roster have been to, correct maybe the mistakes that the coaches are making. Like you just said, the penalty kill maybe has been better. We've traded for probably 3 or 4 guys specifically to play the penalty kill. The power play sucks. We just traded for Josh Norris. Like, we're making changes to the roster to fix our systems when we're not even thinking about changing the coaches.
Spot on. It's a great point when you really take a step back and you look at it like that. Yes, Ryan McLeod had, coming into last season, I think one of the highest penalty kill wars of the past few seasons. And Josh Norris, one of the main things they talked about was the fact that this guy scores goals on the power play. Eric Johnson was brought in as like one of his main things. Oh, he kills penalties, because our last season, you missed the playoffs in 22-23. You had a 70% penalty kill. So,
yep.
Yeah, this
Greenway and Malenstein, I feel like, are along the same lines too. Like, there's 5 players we've named.
it's a long-standing trend, and to see like this is the perfect jumping off point. You have a perfect reason to fire two of these coaches, probably honestly even the whole staff. You have reason to fire, just completely clean house. Now, obviously they're not going to do that, but to not see a single change aside from the strength and conditioning coach. I don't want to forget. What's his name?
Forgot
What's his
about
name?
him.
Wasn't it like Gallivan or something, or is that the new guy? Hold on.
He had to take the fall for all this. Yeah, it's like they can't multitask. It's like there's a leak in the ship and they plug the hole and another one opens up and they just leave it running and then they walk away and they come back and they're like, "Oh, there's another leak in the ship. All right, let's fix this one," but it'll take 6 weeks and then they'll fix it. Something else will happen. They'll walk away.
And we're getting to the point of almost like no return of like you could say, yeah, like this offseason really hasn't even started. Like they could still make moves, but like discussions are happening right now. The combine is about to happen. The draft is less than a month away. Like if you were going to make changes, like it should have already been done by now.
It's not going to happen. Joni made a good point last episode. There's a ton of discussion that's going to go on at the combine because all the draft is virtual now, and you seem like you'd want a guy in here by now to start, formulating a plan of attack.
Ed Gannon, that was his name. Ed Gannon. Never forget Ed.
Never forget.
All right, that's enough for the coaches. Let's move on to the front office. So this one comes from Charles E. Mead on Twitter. Is there any legitimate belief that any experienced NHL front office person will take the, in quotes, babysitter role the Sabres are searching for? Quotes used because I don't believe they are actually searching or that the position is real within the organization. I think they're searching. I think it's fairly obvious. They're searching for someone. We've been told that they've talked to multiple people. It's such a tough sell. I mean, we've talked about it. It is such a hard sell to get someone over to Buffalo to take on a role. This late in the process, we're less than a month away from the draft. We're like a week or two away from the draft combine, which we have stated it's going to be a pretty important period. And B, it's not a role that comes with much power. I mean, you're an advisor. This isn't like they're searching for a president of hockey ops. I mean, we spent so much time last episode talking about the idea of Brendan Shanahan, and while it makes so much sense, he was the president of one of the most prestigious clubs in hockey, and he'd be coming to one of the least prestigious, the least. Right now, if you were to power rank the NHL, it's the team with the longest playoff drought of all time. And he wouldn't even have the same role. He'd be an advisor. He'd be guiding Adams in the right direction rather than actually making the important calls. So that's what it is. I think they're searching. I think they've asked a ton of guys. I still think in the end they're gonna get someone, but who is it gonna be? I don't know. He used the word experienced NHL front office person. I mean, that's every person they're talking to is gonna have experience, but I think we all know what he means. Are you gonna get are you going to get a Mark Bergevin? Are you going to get a Jarmo Kekalainen? Are you going to get a Rick Dudley? Or are you going to get someone who isn't a name like that? That's the question.
I think they're searching. I just don't think they're searching very, very hard. Again, there's just no sense of urgency within any of the organization at all.
I also think their biggest bargaining chip is, it would be cash, and we know when you talk about a name like Brendan Shanahan, I mean he's gonna be demanding cash, and for someone like Rick Dudley, who is a senior advisor for the Florida Panthers, why, unless he's feeling very generous and he wants to move, if he wants to stay in Buffalo full time, why would he leave the most well-run organization in the sport right now, arguably? I mean, aside from Florida, who else is in the conversation? It's a handful of teams. Why are you doing that? You probably gotta spend a bit more, and the conversation going into coaches and conversations of years past where Terry Pegula didn't want to fire coaches because he was still paying the salaries of other coaches he had fired. It's just a long cycle that it just comes back to the same equation. At least I think.
Yeah, I feel like anybody that's out there right now, we've probably already asked and they've probably already turned it down. So I feel like unless it's, they're gonna go bargain shopping just to fill a role, like they might just be waiting on Dudley. Like I don't know. That's the only thing I could come up with now.
And not to mention, this isn't. If it was 2020, like, because you saw, Jason Carmano's very established guy in the league, and they were able to bring him over. Sam Ventura, built one of the best analytical teams in the sport in Pittsburgh, came to Buffalo. These guys, I think there's people in the league that would invite the challenge of Buffalo, even right now, not just 2021. But the reason that I think you were able to get Carmanos and get Ventura is it was the start. You had time. And while I don't know if in the end Kevin Adams is going to be let go by the organization next year if all else fails again. But I think a large part of the organization will. And that's another tough sell for the advisor. Even if they're getting a multi-year deal, the people they're working with it sounds like their contracts are up at the end of next year. So it's just another factor that makes this a lot harder.
Yeah, it's like you can only pitch this to someone as like a kind of a 1-year kind of stepping stone deal in a vacuum because the advisors, they're smart people. They could see what's going on. They could see who's up at the end of the year and what's going on, and they know when writing's already on the wall, and there's so much of it here. There's a ton of it. So, yeah, it's like coming into the job, you already got to look at it as like a DEFCON 1 situation where this could only be a 1-year stop, and you got to help fix this entire roster so everyone else gets an extension. And even if they make the playoffs and they get bounced in the first round and Kevin Adams gets an extension, would you be happy? Would you be happy?
That's a tough question.
Depends on the move he made to get to the playoffs.
Even then, it's more so like if they get bounced in the first round, is it against like the Florida Panthers? I mean, if it is, are we walking away being like, I mean, it would suck, but in the end, you got there, and I don't know. And that's a conversation
question.
I don't even entertain until we get there.
Yeah, that's fair. I also do wonder that if the news that just came out like today or yesterday that Carmanos might actually be staying with the organization, contrary to what was reported like a few weeks ago, maybe that does change stuff. Because obviously, like we've said, he should be highly valued and coveted in our organization, has a lot of experience, and, he, as much as, he's running the Amherst, he's also he should be helping Kevin a lot and is probably, kind of in that advisor role anyway. So maybe they're expecting him to leave, and maybe they won't fill it now because Carmanos is staying. Just a thought.
But it's also, as much as we want him to stay, him staying it's more status quo. I mean, it's another. Yeah. It was the one front office move that was maybe coming. I mean, it would have been a bad one, but it just seems like they're sticking with what they got.
Well, and Eric Stahl. Don't sleep on Eric Stahl.
Go ahead.
Eric Stahl. I was just going to say, it's been 8 years since the Sabres have had a legitimate GM search. It's been 8 years. Almost a full decade. You know how many times they've made the playoffs during that point? 0.
All right, moving on to the next question. This one is from Josh Allen on Sundays keeps the Sabres away on Twitter.
It's a sick username.
We got 2 questions. So the first one, am I a bad fan for tapping out on the team until they show me they want to win by making front office and or assistant coaching changes? And 2, is Terry doing a secret tank by keeping the front office for another year in an attempt to land McKenna?
I'm going to answer the second question first. No, because there is no guarantee you get Gavin McKenna, and I hope Terry's learned the fool me once, shame on you, fool me once, twice, shame on me. It's like, it's not a guarantee. This happened under him during the McDavid saga.
Do you think he knows who Gavin McKenna is?
He 100% does not know who Gavin McKenna is too. So to answer that question, no, I don't think that he's running a secret tank, but I like the conspiracy. I do.
I think it would be genius by Terry. I mean, if if he was just in love with Gavin McKenna and he was like, you know what, we're gonna suck for one more year. What's adding 15 years? What's adding another year onto our playoff push gonna do if we get a generational player?
Well, here's the thing. It might play into your first question into his first question because, like he's saying, he's tapped out with the team. I'm sure a lot of fans are feeling the same way, and I don't think a 32nd place season is the way of going to inspire the city to go watch their hockey team again.
Here's my thing, though. I feel like if you are asking a show like us questions about the team, I feel like you're not. I don't believe you're tapped out, man. I think you still got another. You got another few years of this left in you.
God.
Everybody says they're tapped out, and you'll be right back when they select like Roger McQueen on draft night.
Yeah. To answer
James
the
Hagen's
first
falls
question,
to
though, no, you're not a bad fan. You're a smart
you're not,
fan.
You're not. You're not.
You're smart. We're all idiots.
Yeah, it's. I don't blame anybody for tapping. You can't blame anybody for tapping out. I mean, it's exhausting. I mean, we do this, I think, just out of love for the team, hope that one day it will turn around. But at the same time, I think it's almost like force of habit. Like you don't know what at this point, you know what to do without it. And it's like if I didn't have like this outlet to talk about this stupid, ridiculous team, I don't know. Like I can't just read tweets on Twitter and then like go about my day. It's almost therapy for me. So for people to just separate themselves from everything at this point, or at least from this point in the off season, and just tune out hockey altogether until the draft, like I get it. You're not a bad fan, not whatsoever.
Yeah, I think honestly, probably no. It's not probably. It's a guarantee that I think about this team every single day, just because it is all of what my Twitter and a good portion of what like my social medias are just based in. It's this sport and then obviously this market. So I don't think I've ever been less tuned out in my entire life, even with the fact that this team is so bad. And they've been so bad for so long, it hurts.
You keep diving deeper and deeper into it.
It's an abusive relationship.
I would say if like I was tapped out before we even like started this stuff, this has gotten me back into it. If it wasn't for our podcast, I'd be tapped out. Like I would not be watching because I was becoming more and more of a Bills fan, and now it's kind of turned the other way. So
we saved it from happiness.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank God.
Yeah, thank you guys.
You saw the light.
Turning more and more into a Bills fan. He was just drifting away, and we had to rip him back under the thunderclouds and just have him sit there and sit in the rain.
Yep.
Possibly get struck by lightning a few times.
All right, we touched on Gavin McKenna, and it actually wasn't the only question we got about him. This one, it's an interesting hypothetical. This one's from I think it's the Boolin Wall on Twitter. Would you rather make the playoffs and Adams gets an extension, or miss the playoffs, Adams gets fired, but you are guaranteed Gavin McKenna?
Oh my God. You know what makes this question so hard? A 14-year playoff drought.
That is tough.
And also like kind of how you get there, right? Like
Yeah.
if Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen just goes sicko mode again and drags your team in with like you just have enough. I mean, what the Canadians finished with 90 points exactly, or 91 or 92. Like if you get in at 90 points or maybe even in the 80s, is it worth it in the end? Probably. It's probably worth that temporary happiness just to get there.
I think
Yeah,
I would lean towards that because, like, if we were guaranteed McKenna, that would probably mean our season went to complete shit and that some other consequential things might happen, like Donleen, Tage, someone, like, you never know.
Other dominoes will fall. It'll
Someone,
be
yeah.
another.
Yeah.
It'll,
Is Alex Tuck signing a 7 or 8 year extension if the team just got first overall again? I mean, maybe he wants to play with Gavin McKenna, but is he though? Like, I mean, he's going on
Right.
30 years of age. Tuck's not getting, or Tage isn't getting any younger. And we've seen it as much. Gavin McKenna is going to be awesome, but we've talked about this at points how just tanking just hasn't been viable in the NHL just because, I mean, the best rookie season you've gotten since Austin Matthews had 40 goals in his rookie year was probably this year with Celebrini. And Celebrini was great. And the Sharks still finished last place.
Dead last.
So, it's just not the same anymore. Even Connor McDavid's first season, as good as he was about a point per game player. It takes time for these things. And if Gavin McKenna might mean Tage Thompson is on the way out, and that's not a good replacement. So
no. Yeah, we don't have the time, and also the last thing this team needs is to get younger again. Like, just get me to the playoffs. That's all I want. I don't care about Gavin McKenna. I don't care if it's some superstar possibility of coming here. I just get us in. That's it.
I have a feeling, though, in 11 months' time, we might be caring about Gavin McKenna when we miss the playoffs and we have like a 6% chance to get him.
I have a feeling too.
all right, this one is a draft question. Probably, honestly, the only draft question we got. Not that they should keep the pick, but if they do, is Kayshawn Aitchison not the perfect pick for the Buffalo Sabres needs? Now, if nobody knows who Kayshawn Aitchison is, I think I'm saying that right. I hope I am. Defenseman in the Canadian Junior Hockey League, plays for the Barrie Colts, and is slated to go in the first round of this year's draft. Now, the reason that he is described as the perfect addition for the Sabres, as you would maybe expect, plays a physical game, takes a lot of penalties, but has also boosted his stock a lot. He saw a big point increase this year. That said, I think Corey Proman actually mocked him to the Sabres in his mock draft today at 9th overall. But I think aside from that, it would be a bit of a reach. I mean, I know for the most part he's been ranked mostly in the teens. Some outlets had him as low as like a second-round pick, which he's pretty consensus first round at this point. But I think the highest he got was 9th overall by Central Scouting. But aside from that, 24th by Consolidated Ranking, 19th by EliteProspects.com. Bob McKenzie had him at 18. Craig Button had him at 16. I think you get the idea. I think he falls more in the teens range, and I know that the play style, all that, it's a match for what the Sabres might need in their defensive group, but I don't know. I guess not the biggest fan of the player, and I do think it would be a bit of a reach. So I don't know how you guys would maybe feel. Like if that was the pick, how would you feel about the Sabres getting, choosing to go probably for the first time in the Adams era with the big physical defenseman?
Isn't he a left-handed defenseman too?
He is left-handed.
Nope. No, I'm just joking. It's weird because you said not that they should keep the pick. It's weird because I was more inclined to trade the pick last year than I am this year. And I'm just kind of basing that off the fact that it's like I've come to learn that first-round picks don't really net you anything of value when it comes to... It's not like in the NFL you're trading a first-round pick. That might net you more value. A lot of times players go for picks and one-for-one swaps, but... I don't know. In the NHL, it usually doesn't happen unless it's like Beck Malenstein.
Yeah. Or it's usually like a part of a bigger trade.
Yeah, it's usually packaged.
Like the last time it was a sole piece of a trade. Even that, like my mind goes to when, who's the Islanders defenseman? My mind is blanking. He got traded there during to Romanov. When Romanov got traded to the Islanders during the draft, wasn't that a pick swap? Wasn't that just a bunch of pick swaps between the Islanders and the Canadians? I'm pretty sure it was. So, like, even then, it wasn't the main piece of the trade.
I think what comes to mind is, didn't Tyler Bertuzzi go for a first, or Nick Foligno in Toronto?
I mean, they did, but those were both
they were bigger
trade deadline additions.
Yeah, they were. I forgot about that. But yeah,
Right.
it's just it doesn't unless Adams has a bigger trade in the works. Anyone out there listening right now, I just want to dampen your expectations of the pick getting moved. They're 90% chance they're going to make that selection.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, like Christian said, if there was a year to do it, it felt like it was going to be last year. I mean, it was talked about in the weeks preceding the draft numerous times. I mean, Friedman talked about it.
Let's
Him
talk
and
about the
Merrick, I
day
feel
of
like,
the draft.
yeah, I mean, and you had your rumors. I would assume that when they were when they were talking to Carolina about Marty Necas, I would assume that was part of the deal. But obviously, it didn't come to fruition. They ended up with Consta Hellenius, and now, I mean, I guess maybe this would be the year because you're not expecting it. But yeah, I also it does feel like, just because you're looking around, the Sabres are probably going to trade Bowen Byram. Matthias Samuelsson might go as well. The defense is going to get older, most likely, which is it's good. It's what the roster needs. You think they're going to get older, and if you look at the pipeline, you got Ryan Johnson, who caps out as a third pairing defenseman, who I guess can maybe play with, maybe he can play up with Rasmus Dahlin and Owen Power. But aside from him, you look around, the defense is not looking great. I mean, hey, maybe Novikov becomes something, but there's rumors of Komarov going back to Russia, and you got some interesting names in there like Luke Osborne, but not a lot coming up. It kind of feels like the Sabres are going to end up going with like Brady Austin or Radim Murtika. It feels like this is the year they maybe draft by position, which is not my philosophy, but if there's a year to do it, you're kind of looking around being like, all right, I guess, especially since a lot of defensemen are being mocked in that range. So
They kind of did that last year. I mean, not with the first pick. They went best player available, but wasn't like every pick after Hellenius like a defenseman for like the next 4 or 5 rounds?
yeah, because you had Adam Kleber. Obviously, Osborne went later. Who was their third round pick? Well, they went Brody Zemer last year in the third.
True.
But they did go. They went with a lot of defensemen. There were a lot of. I mean, Patrick Erie was last year. So, yeah, I think they definitely identify that. I guess they just, besides Owen Power, they haven't gone defenseman in the first round, which it's usually the way to go. It's a league that's run on forwards.
Yeah. Was this the
We'll
guy
see.
where the compilation was going around of him just decking dudes?
It might have been. I think I missed that one.
I saw something on Twitter of a defenseman in the draft, and I think it was him just annihilating dudes, and it was headshot after headshot. But he was
that's exactly what we
destroying them.
need. Our already shitty penalty kill needs to be killing more penalties.
So I guess to circle back, is it Kashan? If they go Aitchison, I would see why they do it. It's the player that a lot of people would probably argue the organization needs in their pipeline. I do just think if they stayed at 9 and made that pick, I think it would be a bit of a reach. But we'll see. I see the vision there. All right, moving on. Let's see, which one should we go next? Let's have a fun one. This one comes from MR2 on Twitter. What's the best food item at KeyBank Center?
Oh, you already know. I mean, I feel like we talk about this every other episode during the season. Got to get those chicken tenders. I mean, they are gas. They hands down the best item. And look, I'm not as much of a foodie as Christian is, I'll tell you that. And Christian agrees with me. So that's how I know that my taste is like correct.
Yeah, JP, let the big backs talk for a minute, all right? I'm about to drop some knowledge on you. The chicken tenders are fantastic, don't get me wrong, but I'm telling you, do not sleep on the barbecue chicken pizza. First of all, great value because it's a huge slice of pizza. The pizza's the size of like my entire face. And I know you don't like this, but I am a big fan of the sesame seeds on the crust. That's just me.
Stop.
Oh, no.
Okay.
That is just
God.
That's vile. No,
I was with JP at a game and he opened his pizza box and there were sesame seeds on the crust. You might as well have just like spit in his food. He was very upset.
Yeah, I can't even take you serious after you just make that comment.
Dude,
The other
don't
thing
sleep on it, man. It's good.
that is very good that I've had a few times. The Nashville hot chicken sandwich they got is
That was
very
probably gonna
good.
be my pick for this year.
I
My
know
pick for
Jonah
this
had it
year,
like once, and it's really
it
good.
was
I'll
very
tell you what
good.
though, it
It
does
was
not
very good.
sit well with me though, so I can't have it. I can't.
That was definitely the best new item this year. I'm still mad about this. They had an amazing buffalo chicken pizza option last year. It was so good. I got it every time I went to the game. I think I even recommended it on here. But they took it away. They added the buffalo chicken. What was it chicken and steak pizza? They added this year. It was good.
I think it was the
It was
barbecue
fine.
chicken.
I thought it was steak. I swear they added a steak pizza.
Oh, like a stinger pizza or something like
Yeah.
that.
I think they called it like a chicken and steak. I think, and it was good. But the hell happened to it was such a good slice of pizza, so
Mhm.
good, and that's the reason why this season went to hell.
Last season went to hell too. What was the menu item caused that?
Well, at least I was like, I ate good.
Yeah, you ate good. Actually, one thing we could all agree on: the best thing to have while you're watching a Sabres game is about 5 tall boys, because by the second period,
That's-
you don't
that's
even
fair.
know
Yeah,
what
and-
you're watching anymore.
And you're spending $200 for those 5. So I don't know if it's best bang for your buck, but in order to watch
You'll
some
get
Sabres
results.
hockey, I get it. Yeah.
The mental
Yeah.
health, just it'll help so
Skyrockets.
much. Yeah, up through the roof. Dopamine is just through the roof.
Yeah. I'll also say, if you're looking to, to bulk or to gain some weight, like the Dominator it has to be mentioned. I mean, I don't think any of us tried it, which is
No.
very unfortunate. So I hope it's back next season.
We're still thinking about doing the 3-3-3 challenge next year. Maybe we'll do it. Maybe we'll do it.
All right, moving on. This one comes from Tanner Boyle on Twitter. What is your opinion of going, in all caps, hard after Sam Bennett as a culture and attitude changer for the Sabres? When the Sabres acquired Drury, it set the tone for all that followed. I would rather see this than Mitch Marner.
Okay. Sam Bennett's been growing on me as of recent. First of all, maybe not even sleeper anymore. Might be the Conn Smythe pick if
I was
the
going to say
Panthers win.
he's leading the. I would hope he's growing on you because he's leading the entire playoffs in goals. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been
And-
unreal. He's been fantastic for the Panthers.
Yes, and nail gun behavior. And honestly, if there was one guy that Terry Pagula would just sit down and if Terry Pagula watches just the Cup final every year, just one game, I guarantee you he's like, I wish I had a Sam Bennett on my team.
Well,
Would you pay him $10 million?
No,
See,
absolutely not.
No,
That's
probably
why
not.
I'm against him. Is because I think his price point's gonna be way too high for like the production he actually brings. But I get the intriguement with him. With what he brings as a leader. He's very clutch. It's shown. He has that grit. He likes to injure people. Like I just
Yes,
the
he
price
does have a
point.
knack for that.
Yeah, the price point I think is just too high for the actual player he is.
$10 million is just insane. I mean, for a guy that's hit 50 points in his career once. I
Yeah.
mean, look, I was willing. I remember there was a point earlier this season when you're thinking about free agents, and he was a guy where I'd have been like, all right, like if you overpay him and give him like $8 million for 5 years, like that's a contract I could get on board with. I wouldn't love it, but like I could get on board with it. But $10 million for a guy that is going to play in your middle six, isn't even on your top line, and is aging, plays a physical style. I mean, am I the only one? Is a hot playoff for a team that's going to go to the Cup Finals, maybe win the Cup again? Nobody's getting Ville Leno flashbacks here. Just me. He's not Ville. He's better. He's a better player than Ville Leno ever was. Ville Leno had one season of top six production before they gave him a blank check. But
And then he made a clothing line because we booed him.
But I mean, Sam Bennett. It's also the Florida Panthers are a very smart team. So you would have to wonder, why are they seemingly going to let this player go without much of an effort. I shouldn't say without much of an effort. I mean, people have been saying, was it Friedman the other day that said he's not convinced he's even leaving Florida?
Yeah, I thought that was out there.
He's been a great player for them and has been a key part of them possibly winning 2 cups in a row. But I mean, his last 4 seasons all 5 of his seasons in Florida, or I guess 4 full seasons. I mean, 49 points in 71 games, 40 points in 63 games, 40 points in 69 games, and this season 51 and 76. It's a good player, a really good player, and I think in a rising cap world, I think he's worth $8 million, but 10, and that might not even be enough for the Buffalo tax. So it's not Sam Bennett the player, it's Sam Bennett the contract that I don't have any interest in that. There's just too many things that can go wrong there.
Would you overpay him if it meant that we were finally a cap team?
That's true.
I feel like
if you
that's
just got
cheating, though. I feel like
10
that's
million
cheating.
sitting there. I also wonder, though, like, these Stanley Cup caliber winning teams always have some guys who are just unbelievable on that team, and then they go somewhere else, and they're just, it ends up being they're kind of a product of their surroundings because of who they were playing with, how good of a team they are on. I do kind of wonder that with Bennett. Like, not that he wouldn't be a good player with us, but it's like you're paying him that much, you'd probably want him to like drive a line or be one of your better players. And I don't know if he'd be getting that. I mean, before the Panthers, he never had. He had 36 points in his rookie season. After that, he didn't have another 30-point season with Calgary.
Yeah, I mean, Florida kind of saved his career. I don't think they paid very much to get him. All right, moving on, sticking with free agents. These next 2, both from Instagram, revolve around one Mitch Marner. Brecken_C asks, do you see any world where Mitch Marner is a Buffalo Sabre? And I am Derek Watt asks, chances of landing Mitch Marner as a free agent. I grouped these together. We'll start with the second one. Chances of landing Mitch Marner as a free agent was something that we did kind of directly
Cover.
Yeah, we covered it. Addressed. Jeez. We did address it last episode. Like, even down, we all gave number percentages that, we thought, rough. I mean, Christian was at, 6.5? Like, you matched it to their lottery odds this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was similarly at, 5%. I think JP took the smallest at, 3%?
Mm-hmm. I would say I think mine's gone down since then, too, because, there's rumors about Marner, starting to happen, like who he prefers. Like, obviously it's Vegas or the Panthers. Like, anybody wants to go there, so that's not news. But someone talked about or reported on which teams have been interested, and the Sabres were not mentioned. And it's like, what the hell are we doing if we're not interested in Mitch Marner? So my odds have gone down to 1% now. Like, I can't believe we're not at least mentioned in that. It's astounding.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen one article or one mock or anything that has our name even on it, period. I don't think I found one thing. But who knows? That could be a good thing. We got him right where we want him.
Yeah, look, this is the same. I've seen crazy stuff happen. I mean, Johnny Gaudreau signed at a discount with Columbus at one point. Taylor Hall came out of nowhere and signed a 1-year deal with the Sabres. I mean, unexpected stuff happens. And
Play the clip.
all right, fine.
We signed this guy. We're not only trying to make the playoffs,
Well,
we're trying to win the cup.
Yeah, I mean, this is, yeah.
Man, it was after COVID. That was 4.5 years ago. God, time, man, just flies.
Yep. But crazy stuff like that has happened where stuff you never saw coming, never considered. It happens in the league. And I think the reports from Marner are a bit I think they're a bit dumb. I think what he wants is important. If he's talking about Vegas or Florida, he probably of course anybody would want to play for those teams. But I think when you see these teams are interested in him, well, listen, as little faith as I have in the Sabres overall, they're going to give the guy a phone call. They're not going to not call Darren Ferris. So I think for me, it's just let's just see where see where everybody stands on July 1st. But I'll stick by my 5% thing. I think just given the factors, he's from around here, likes the Bills, could stay in the division if he really wants to kind of stick it to Toronto for the next few years. And obviously the Sabres have the cap space to do it. So I'm sticking at 5%. And yeah, when I can see a world where it happens. I listed the examples, Gaudreau, Taylor Hall. Weird signings have happened. So, this next one comes from Sean Taylor 97 on Instagram. Jason Robertson as a trade idea for the Sabres. I really like this question because we have been talking about it loosely over the course of the last few months because I don't know if anybody's heard, but the Dallas Stars have this new guy named Mikko Rantanen who is going to be making $12 million for the next 8 years. And they are not going to be able to fit all of that in moving forward. They have guys, let me just pull up their Puckpedia page super quickly, but they have some RFAs on the horizon. And with the acquisition of Rantanen, and especially with the playoffs he's had to this point, at least the first 2 rounds,
his Linsanity run is over.
Jason Robertson has definitely, he's not the top line winger, or he's not looked at as the guy to carry that load each and every night. So your mind does sort of wander. Right now they're projected $4.9 million in cap space for next year, and they're going to need at least one defenseman. Cody Ceci is going to be headed to free agency. Jamie Benn's probably going to be leaving. Matt Duchesne's a UFA, Dadonov, Mikhail Granlund, who they spent a first-round pick on, Maverick Bork, who people have been talking about as potential offer sheets, might be on the way out. So if you're just talking about filling out a roster, they have a lot to do, and if they want to get better after this conference finals, which is not going very well at the moment, they will want to come back a stronger team. And Jason Robertson has been a player in the past who has kind of been criticized for not performing the best in the playoffs. I think this year he's pretty obviously injured, considering he was injured the first round, but no trade clause. The easy name that people have pointed to are guys like Mason Marchment, for example, but he has a modified no trade clause. So the Robertson idea I really like, just because obviously guy's a star. He is actually a Dallas Star, but he is a star in the league. And I think if the Stars want to get crazy and clear up a lot of cap space and get a good return back, because it is Jason Robertson, I think Buffalo's a good partner.
Yeah, it wouldn't be Mitch Marner, but it kind of makes more logistical sense on a lesser cap hit, and you could be the one to actually initiate it. You don't need to get his permission to sign with you.
Mm-hmm.
You can go right to Jim Nill's office and just start tabling offers if he's interested.
And you say he's not Mitch Marner. He had 109 points 2 years ago.
Yeah.
He has been incredible the past few seasons in the regular season. And obviously, look, he'd be a star. And now the thing is that when I say we've talked a lot about this, or we've talked about it, just like what a hypothetical trade would look like, it starts with Zach Benson in my mind. I think
Probably,
just 100%, you get a guy with, I don't want to call it similar upside, because I don't know if he's going to be a 109-point player ever, but same profile, not a great skater, an incredible two-way player, and Zach Benson just kind of has to develop the scoring touch. But I think he has the same profile as Jason Robertson, but is making league min right now, and I don't know. I kind of think it makes sense as a starter. Now, it's not going to be a 1-for-1 swap, but I feel like Zach Benson's your main piece, and you just kind of go from there. And I love Zach Benson to death. I do. Sign him to an 8-year deal tomorrow. Do it right now. But I think it makes sense. I really like the idea. I just don't. How likely is it? I don't know. Because I don't know if this is purely based off the idea if Dallas wants to make big changes after another failed run, and this is a guy without trade protection. So that's how I see it.
Yeah, I know this is Jonah's favorite idea, and he was happy it was being brought up. So
I was
Yeah.
really happy somebody asked about it because it is something we've talked about.
I was surprised to see that. I mean, this is his last year in his current contract, so he is due a contract at the end of this next season. I mean, he's an RFA, but that would also be something to keep in mind once, if it were to happen.
Mm-hmm. All right, moving on. Let's see here. This one comes from our good friend, the Bowen Byram fan account. When Bowen Byram gets moved, who should I name my account after? It's a good question. It's a really important one, too.
Does he need a guy that's like perpetually on trade lists and rumors? Because he was
don't know.
Middlestat, then he was Byram.
Well, he was Labushkin
He was,
first.
yeah,
He was Labushkin. I don't know. It's got to be someone. It can't be a star. It's got to be someone more obscure.
I think
This is
Beck
interesting.
makes the most sense. He's already got
I
a
do-
little fan
I
club.
like that. I like that.
I think he makes the most sense, especially, if he's going to continue the trend of probably going to leave the next year. Like we don't want to make him someone else so they don't leave because of, who he names his account. Like I think Benson will also be a really good one, but then
Careful.
Benson would be gone the
Careful.
next year.
Yeah. No.
I think if we go off the trend of like guys that are hated that can see a big uptick, I think Josh Norris makes a lot of sense.
Oh yeah, that could be.
I feel like that fits the most of what he does for the most part.
I feel like I keep forgetting that he exists.
That he's a Sabre.
Unfortunately, no
Or-
shot at him.
Or
but,
Josh
like,
Norris, yeah.
I mean, do you think, kind of getting down a little bit of a rabbit hole here, but do you think that the reason we got him in the first place, like just off of the basis that we were trading Cousins, was because like Ottawa already knew he was hurt and they needed help down the stretch?
No, I don't think it was that. I mean, they knew he was hurt, but I think it was more two teams swapping centers, with similar career trajectories, and in the Sabres case, they went after a guy with more power play and defensive acumen. And, I think my problem in all that is that, you tied yourself to $8 million for the next 5 years, but
It's not that much anymore.
plus, they're a cap team, so who really cares in the end?
Yeah, of course.
So, I mean, listen, we've talked a lot about it when the deal was made. It made sense why they did that, but it doesn't mean it's going to help them down the lines. Anyways, to bring this back to the Bowen Byram fan account, I think that makes the most sense. I think Josh Norris is the guy that I would choose.
I'm sticking with Beck.
Unless we get Beck's a good one.
I'm gonna side with JP. I'm gonna go Beck Malenstein on this one.
Okay. All right, moving on. Next question. This one comes from Less Money, More Problems on Twitter. Does Reimer still deserve a shot on the roster after playing phenomenal down the stretch? And what should they do to patch the whole blow the lead in the third period in a really stupid way that no one could have thought of issue? Well, we'll start with the first one. The answer is absolutely yes. The Sabres should be absolutely bringing back James Reimer. I think the thing is, I don't know if he's going to play hockey anymore. I think it's as simple as that. Also,
Oh,
I do
man.
have a lack of confidence that even if he was 35 years old instead of 37, going on 38 or however old he is, there's this kid, Devin Levi, that I think they just still believe in fully that they would probably still want to be the backup.
I think
'Cause-
this is the last shot for Devin Levi to take the crease.
I don't
really
know if
do.
it's the last.
I just don't trust the organization for this. I mean, hey, maybe if the whole organization goes next year, then maybe that's the case. But if Kevin Adams and co are still in charge, I still believe in the end he's getting his shot to be the guy.
All right. Well, hopefully, third time's the charm?
Yeah, third time. Year 3. How about that second part of the question, though? What should they do to patch the whole blow the lead in the third period in a really stupid way that no one could have thought of issue?
It's a great question because we haven't been able to figure that out in forever. Maybe coaching.
It was. Remember, Granato's teams did not have that issue. Remember, they were weren't they like 20-0 or or like 20-1 when holding a lead after the second period.
Yeah, but the problem with them was they'd always like get scored on twice in the first period. This
Yeah.
team's the complete
Well, I don't-
opposite.
yeah,
They're one of the
that's-
best
that's
first
my
period
point.
teams.
We can't have 3 consistent periods. It's either
It's
we're a
impossible.
shitty first period team or we're an amazing first period team, most goals in the league in the first period, and then just do absolutely nothing in the third period.
I almost feel like it's almost not even coachable. Like I feel like it's just kind of how the team is, and
It's mental.
it's,
it is mental.
Yeah, you just start one way and then you just keep going.
Do you think that maybe they look into moving UPL for just like a hockey trade,
Stop it.
like a UPL for like another goalie?
This wasn't even.
And then-
This wasn't
and
even
then you
relevant to our conversation.
Maybe
Maybe
make
for
Levi
last
the
question.
backup.
For last question, this
We're
could have
talking
made sense. We're talking about something completely different.
I don't think they're going to do that. Not with the uncertainty around. I mean, as much as I think they believe in Levi, with the uncertainty, the only hockey trade they're making for Luukkonen involves another goalie.
Yeah, and that you never know with goalies. I think honestly, I know everyone's always like, "Oh, one of them needs a higher share of the workload." No, bullshit. I'm done with that horse shit. Bring both of them up. It could be 1A and 1B, and whoever decides to step up first, they get the crease as long as they want until they fuck up, and then they switch.
Okay. You heard it here first.
I mean, it's the simplest answer. Like, you want to go hunting for another goalie again? You want to do the 3 goalie rotation thing?
I think they should just get a regular NHL backup. You should not be penciling in Devin Levi into this lineup. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. Make him earn it. Don't give it to him. I mean, remember, you lost James Reimer for like a month last year because you had to waive him. All in service of letting Devin Levi have like an 870 through 5 or 6 games played.
I mean, he's supposed to be the guy, right? So
There's
maybe
no
I'm
such
giving him
thing.
too many chances.
Goalies are too weird.
Yeah.
Well, thanks to whoever asked that last question, not about goalies, for giving Jonah and Christian, getting
Well,
Jonah
it
and
was-
Christian started on it.
It was about goal. Christian just had to get it in there.
I had to get
Just
my
had
dig
to.
in there. I just had to.
All right, moving on. This one is from Grayson Schaefer on Twitter. When is the Slug coming back? Black and Red Fridays and Slug Saturdays in the future?
I hope the slug never comes back.
Oh, that's a bad take.
Fuck
No,
you.
it's not.
Bad take.
Brutal.
Hey, listen,
take.
I have a
We
slug
grew up
jersey
on
in my
those.
closet. I had a slug jersey in my closet. What do you mean we grew up on them, bro? They were so bad and the fan base hated them so much.
It's a
They had to
good
bring in an
logo.
ugly navy.
It's a good logo. I'll stand by
Overhated.
it. It's a good logo.
It's overhated.
It's just so I like it. I like it.
I
If it
don't-
wasn't,
I don't
if
think-
the
I don't have
franchise, if the franchise was not called like the Buffalo Sabres, a saber, then that thing would be. I think it's not much different than what the Bills logo is.
Listen, I don't hate it with like a passion, but it's just like, just leave it in the past. It's like, how many jersey rotations are we gonna have?
Well, here's the thing I wanted to bring up. I'm pretty sure the alternate jerseys, I think they only last every, you do them for 3 years. I think that was the promise. So last year was the 3rd year of the goat head.
They're
So,
not going.
I don't think they'll
they're
take
not
them
gonna
away.
go. No.
But it's possible. They could do it if they wanted to. I think it's after 3 years. So,
I think part of the issue with the Slugs too is that like the actual jerseys and colors that they like put with it, I think were not the best.
I
Well,
love them.
it was the
I love
original
them.
transition to the navy blue.
Yeah.
Think they were one of the few Reebok designs that worked. At least I love the aways. I think they were very clean.
So, I like the concept of like, oh, Goat Head Fridays, Slug Saturdays. Like, I think it'd be cool for marketing. It would. But I honestly think they should just maybe bring the Slugs back. If they do, it makes the jersey now Fanatics. If they do like a reverse retro again, maybe they do like a royal blue version of that jersey. And they have it for 1 year, like the white Goat Head jersey.
It'll be
And
interesting.
I love that jersey, the white Goat Head jersey.
And it was too much
Yeah,
white.
it was
I didn't
all
like
right.
it. There was more yellow on it than blue, which I thought was just very, very bad.
They will bring back the Slugs at one point though. Like
I wonder what they're
I'm
going to
pretty
do.
confident in it.
I wonder
They
what
gotta
they're going to
something
do in
get fans
20.
in the building.
I wonder what they're going to do in 2028 when Buffalo's probably going to host that Winter Classic. I wonder what they're going to do for that one.
Just a B on a jersey like what Detroit did that one year with the D, or what Dallas did too.
Bring back
my-
the Winter Classic jerseys. Those are nice.
We have the Winter Classic
It's the
jerseys.
main kit right now.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, the 2018 one. I mean, I really like the 2018 ones, but my prediction. Well, I think the colors were great. I think the striping and all of
The
that
striping,
great.
I did not.
It could use some work. My prediction right now is because I think they toyed around with it for the Heritage Classic. I think they bring the 40th anniversary back into rotation, or like they use that crest on a white jersey. I want to say there was mocked, because they usually release like the mock-ups or like behind the scenes in the lead up, and I think that was one of the designs. I think that was almost, instead of just putting the normal Sabres crest on the Heritage Classic jerseys, I think they toyed around with the Buffalo font. So that would be cool. I mean, that's a top 5 jersey in the team's history, the 40th anniversary jersey. So if they brought those back, that would be awesome.
I liked when they brought back during the 06-07 season, they brought back it's not the kit now because I like the OG Buffalo Sabres socks, the ones they wore that season with those royal blue jerseys.
With the
It's
navy
like the
blue, with the navy blue equipment.
No, that I didn't like. The sock striping though, I really did like. I thought that was really cool.
Mm-hmm. All good ideas. I'm in favor of the slug. Slug Saturdays. I love that.
I'm with you. I'm more or less wondering when they're going to bring back the navy blue. They still have the coloring in the stadium. Like it makes sense.
It's so easy, Terry. You could do it. You could save money. I'm sure you have some old ones just laying in a bin somewhere.
Turd burger. Bring back the turd burger.
No.
Dude, those dropped when I was in middle
you
school,
think-
and I looked at them, and I was like, oh, those look all right. And then all of a sudden, I just hear everyone go, what the hell are these? These are awful. Who the hell designed this shit?
Do you ever think they ever give a yellow jersey another kick at the can? I hope not.
No.
I don't think it looks. I don't think it's a Sabres color as like a full base.
It's not good. It really isn't. It's just, it looks like a big snot rocket. It's just gross.
Definitely agree with you there. All right, moving along. I don't think we have too many left here. This one is from Alyssa on Twitter. How will the Sabres one-up the memes from this year that came from the Palm Trees press conference, the 13-game losing streak, the own goal versus Utah, etc.?
That's going to be tough. But
How do you top that?
every year they come up with new stuff. I mean,
How do you top that? I mean, that last year it was pretty impressive when you think about it. That Palm Trees quote's going to be around forever. The 13-game losing streak, and then the own goal is going to be like forgotten. I mean, how about the goalie goal?
the one that Christian didn't see.
The goalie goal and the own goal, crazy to happen in one year.
Insane.
I don't know, man. I don't think
How do they top that?
like maybe like a Risto running into the boards, but it's like multiple people like at the same time. Man, last year was just such a roller coaster. Is a light way of putting it, but
Well, they've done it all at this point. They've had
I know it's like what
they've
else
had
is there to be upset?
they've had a
about?
player block their own shot into an empty net years ago. You had Risto running into the boards. You've had trading cards thrown on the ice. You've had Zambonis break down. You've had Zambonis hit the door on the way out. I mean, that one's going to be completely forgotten. The only reason I remember that is because it happened right in front of me. So much happened this season. I think last season was like the cherry on top. I don't think there's going to be another full season of memes as good as
you
last
just
year.
jinxed it. You just jinxed it. Someone chat
Whatever.
clip
At
that.
least we can
Chat
laugh
clip
at
that.
it. At least it's funny. Okay, next question. This one's from JMC on Twitter. If the Sabres suck out of the gate, how long until Adams is gone? He has to have a short leash. I don't know. How bad would it have to get?
Guys, I got to break the news to you. Sorry, I got to break the news to you. He's getting the whole season. He's getting the entire season. They could be in December.
See, but here's
He's
the
getting
thing.
the whole season.
The same thing was said about Ralph Kruger, and then they hit 13 straight losses, and he was gone.
I feel like firing a GM mid-season though, like, really doesn't do much. Like if you're talking about a coach, like, sure, but like, I don't know, I can't see them making a change at least before the trade deadline, before he could, stop making moves. I guess I can't
That's
see it
fair.
happening.
I feel like there's a limit, but it would have to be
Well,
probably.
I would
pretty
agree. There's
high.
a limit.
Because I don't know, who goes first? Is it going to be Lindy or is it going to be Kevin? Or do they go together in season? That would be insane. I don't know if I've ever seen a GM and coach go at the same time.
I don't
season.
think they'll fire Lindy no matter what happens.
Moving on. Next one is from Zach Benson on Twitter. With Lance and every other beat reporter for the Sabres being mid at best, looking at you, Mike.
Oh, jeez.
God.
Who can we count on to come in or step up and fill those shoes? You know what? I'm going to come to the defense of I'm going to come to the defense of Mike Harrington. As much as people may disagree with his opinions, what he thinks about the right courses of action for the team are, I think he's a great writer. I do. It's why he's been around for 30 years. His articles are very, very good. And his coverage is still top notch for the Sabres. He's there after every game, after every loss. He's there. So I'll defend him on there. Who can we count on to come in and step up and fill those shoes? Well, I'm pretty sure that Buffalo News is going to get another reporter. I feel like that's been said. I feel like Lance confirmed that. And also we actually had a friend in PR tell us in the weeks leading up that Lance was likely leaving the beat. So I guess we'll see who they replace there. For me, I think far and away the best person in the game right now is Fairburn. I mean, Matthew Fairburn has just been, I think since he got here, has just been the one guy to consistently kind of push the questioning towards the overarching pieces of the organization. I think he was on the Patriots beat for a while, so I think he knows what a well-oiled machine looks like, and to come to the whole Sabre situation has been a bit jarring. So I love his work. I think Fairburn's the guy now.
I like the Sabre reports work too. They're pretty good.
Touche.
Yeah, we do a good job, guys. We do a great job. No, but yeah, someone will be there to step up, and I'm sure they're going to do a great job.
All right, this one is from good friend of the show, good host of the show, Jesse Calhoun. Run it back. This is in reference to a previous mailbag we did. Start, bench, trade. Chris Stewart, Nick Delorier, and Jack Eichel.
I don't even know what to say to that.
Could you run that by me again, please?
Start, bench, trade. Chris Stewart, Nick Delorier, Jack Eichel.
Okay, I'm starting Jack Eichel.
Yeah,
okay?
that's what I
it's
mean.
the easiest.
He doesn't even fit in the same conversation as the other
No,
two.
and I'm gonna bench Chris Stewart and I'm gonna cut Nick Delorier because y'all don't know about Minnesota Chris Stewart. He was
I think Buffalo
a nail
Sabres,
gun out there.
I think Buffalo Sabres Chris Stewart was pretty good.
Yeah, he wasn't bad.
He was a proud tank commander. I think that's the most sane way to go.
I think it's
this,
the only way to go.
Second part of the question. This one's just for me. Follow up for Jonah. If Brennan Johnson decided he wanted to try hockey, how long before he becomes the GOAT of hockey as well? Well, if we have any Spurs fans listening in, big championship win last week, winning the Europa Cup. Big day for Spurs fans like Jesse and myself. I'm
Talking
a
about
pure
soccer?
casual. Yes, JP.
Well, when you
talking
say
about soccer.
Spurs, I think about the basketball. I don't think about soccer.
This is why I
No,
said
the
the question.
Tottenham Spurs.
This is why I thought. This is why I said this question's for me.
Yeah, I'll set this one out too. I'm not a huge soccer guy.
Since when are you a soccer fan?
I see. I was in the midst of saying I was a casual, but you interrupted me. So, yep. No, Jesse got me onto the Spurs bandwagon about a year ago. So been following them along, and big, big, big title win. So
So you're just a bandwagon then.
pretty
Same
much.
thing with Jesse.
But
Jesse
Brendan
became
Johnson, but Brendan Johnson is my guy, and it would not take him long to become the GOAT of hockey as well.
Jesse's just a classic bandwagon fan. I mean, chooses the Spurs. He's a Lightning
Oh.
fan. Like, I don't know. He's
I don't know if you should call
bandwagon
him a
fan.
bandwagon of the Spurs. Don't know about that. He has a
The
burner.
Lightning.
He has
He's
a burner.
Oh my god.
He has a burner. All right. I think this is our last one. If I can just find it. Where is it? Just want to double check. It's our last one. Because I believe it is. Yes. So this one is from Justin Ermacora on Twitter. Do you believe this team will be able to build off its current core and develop what they have to become a legitimate Stanley Cup contender, or will they have to rebuild a third time?
So, interesting question. I personally think it's not about development anymore. I think it's more about, and I was saying this in season, they need to acquire some more top-end talent. Like, the bottom six of this team is set, okay? The bottom six of this team is set, unless there's an injury. You know, maybe you call up a guy from Rochester. None of those guys are going anywhere. The top six, there's room. There is room for improvement there, but it's not going to be through any sort of development. I mean, you want to see Yuri Kulik and Zach Benson take some steps, but I think it's less about that, and it's more about just acquiring said high-end talent. The defense also needs to be reworked, but again, we don't have any prospects. Dahlin, Power's going into his third, fourth year. Samuelson, God knows what's going to happen with him. I personally think if they can't find a trade partner, they just buy him out immediately. But yeah, I think the bulk of this team going into next year is going to be built in free agency, and it worries me a little bit because they've been really bad. Yeah, they've
have not
not
done a
been
good
great
job with
doing that. They did good. Hey, maybe they figured it out after last year with Jason Zucker, but other than outside of Zach Benson and Yuri Kulik, it's not about development anymore with this team. You got to get some high-end talent in the door somehow to support your current core of players. Development was 2021, 22, 23. That is done. We're done with that. I mean, like, you're going to run it back again with the same philosophy for the third, fourth time?
Well, let's see here. Their first-line center and first-line left wing are 20 and 21 years old.
Hence why I was saying they need to bring in some high-end talent. And I did preface by saying that the bottom six is set. Need be one of those guys gets bumped down to the bottom six, or, you know, there's a rotational guy in and out of the lineup. It's fine if you can get a guy like Mitch Marner, or if you get a Jason Robertson in the door, or if you can get someone on the back end like and I'm just throwing darts at a dartboard here, Rasmus Anderson. Like, who knows?
I think the only way they go through a third rebuild would be if, you know, this season just went complete to shit and then you were, you know, going for McKenna basically. Like, I think that's the only way, but like at the end of the day, like, I think we have a good core here. They've proven shit in this league, but I think we do have a good core with Tage, Dahlin, Power, Benson, Kulik. Like, we got guys that you hope will be on that team that breaks the drought and that can make some pushes. But things need to go right for that to happen. I think they still have to make a lot of moves around that, but I think you have the right core in place. I mean, really, you could have said that even with the last core we had. I mean, we had Eichel, Reinhart, Dahlin. Like, we've had cores in place. They're usually not the issue. It's more or less what's surrounding it. So I can't see another rebuild. I think we could just become a perpetually mid team. Like, I can't see them tearing it down again.
I think there's just, even when it comes to, like, you know, saying tearing it down, there's so many assets just floating in this organization. I feel like you could almost speed run like a retool if you wanted to go that route. Like this organization, it gives me no sense of urgency that they'll do anything like that or try and correct a problem if they see it in season, because they didn't last year. And then Kevin Adams was like, "Oh, I probably should have done that." Yeah, buddy, it's your job.
The Bills had a retool year last year. The Sabres having a retool here, not even the same stratosphere.
Man, those are two way different, way different things.
I don't even want to think about what happens at the end of next year if it goes south again. A, because yeah, it would be horrible. But B, like I don't even know which direction it would go, because I can't feel like they rebuild again. Like a rebuild, trade their stars for picks and prospects. I just can't see that happening again, because they've done that twice now. And it's not that I have confidence that they will get it done with this current core. Third rebuild, man. I mean, third rebuild. It's just such a premise
jarring.
that it's just a weird, like we're talking about that again. Like again, you're like the fact that that's even something that can be seriously talked about. It's deja vu and it's jarring as hell.
And would you even trust the Sabres to go through with another rebuild?
That's my thing. I don't know who would be in charge of it. Who would be in charge of those big changes?
Not someone here right now.
Terry
I'll
Pagula.
tell you that.
I mean, I don't know would they give. I don't even know.
What if Terry just made himself GM?
Well,
Like
it
Harold
kind of
Ballard.
kind of goes off of a point that I've seen a few others make online. Like, this is a really, with the talk of the senior advisor, there are so many, like, well-known, established, good NHL names out there. Like, when is the last time you've had somebody like Brendan Shanahan become available? And do you think he's still unemployed by this time next year?
No.
So it's almost like you're kind of missing out here on some really good front office names that you just hope it doesn't come back to bite you next year if you're scrambling, if the organization has gone scorched earth again. So I don't know. Do I think they become a legitimate Stanley Cup contender? Well, I want them to be. I still there's still that childish part of me that thinks at the very least that they will become a playoff team with what they have now. So have to be proven wrong, because I've been proven wrong all my life. But we'll see. I guess we'll see how we attack that this summer. I guess that's how I feel about that. There was actually, I did find one more question I wanted to go over, but this plays into the summer. This one is also from Alyssa. Trades made by Kevin Adams this summer. The over-under line is set at 2.5.
I'm taking the over. I'm thinking like 3.
I'm going to go ahead and hammer the under.
I mean,
I
there's
don't have
already
any kind.
been
Don't have-
conversations about like 3. I mean, there's already
I don't
conversations
care.
about
Conversations
Byron
after
There's
Peterka.
conversations all the time, man. All I hear about are conversations are like, "Oh, we couldn't get this guy. We couldn't get it over the finish line." It's like,
Yeah.
But it's
It's
usually
really-
about
you
us
show me.
trading for someone. This time, like, there's 3 players that we might trade away.
I don't care.
I do
I
feel
don't
like
think they're going to do it.
they make 3, because I feel like Byram's pretty. I feel like that's a pretty done deal. I mean, look, I've been proven wrong before, but I feel like that's something, and I feel like they make at least. Actually, now I don't know. Because I don't feel like Peterka gets moved in the end. I really don't. And then I don't know what they're gonna do with Samuelson, and I don't know, do Connor Clifton and Sam Lafferty stick around? It's just so much.
Quinn?
Quinn, yeah, I mean Jack Quinn. It's just not a lot of clarity, man. Don't know which direction they're gonna go. So I guess I'll take the over at 3 as well. But I'm not. I just don't. There's just so much up in the air. I just don't know how this summer goes. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for this mailbag. So
Thought there was one more question up there. It's from our friends over at the Buffalo Sports Talk. They get a little sly remark in there.
yeah.
Is the answer in the room? No.
Okay.
No, the answer's not in the room.
Okay. Stick to your Cardi B tweets But yeah, I mean, there were a few in there. Shout out Avo, who asked, is Ryan McLeod the perfect hockey player? Yes, very much so. Cecil asked, is Zach Benson the future? Also yes, unless he's in a Jason Robertson trade. So yeah, I think that is all of them. So thank you for sending those in. Honestly, it's fun doing these every once in a while because it's also a good gauge of like our growth. Because once upon a time we had a handful of questions. Like we had to call on friends to ask us some questions to talk about, and now here we are. We had over 40 responses on Twitter, like 15 on Instagram. It's fun. It's a fun exercise, and it's always fun to see the community chip in and give us some stuff to talk about, especially at this point because it's not always easy. So, I think that is going to do it for this one. If you want to follow us on Twitter, you can follow us at the Sabre Report. Also on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at the Sabre Report. If you listen to this on YouTube, you can be sure to like, share, and subscribe. We're approaching 2,000 subscribers. Would be really nice to get there by maybe the start of next season. So if you like this video, please be sure to subscribe and tell us what you thought down in the comments because there was a lot to talk about and a lot to discuss. So I'm sure there's a lot of thoughts going on in your mind. And even though I just kind of gave him a slight jab, go give our friends over at the Buffalo Sports Talk podcast a listen. They just released an episode today, doing some Bills off-season talk. OTAs started this week, so football is slowly but surely, the next season is slowly but surely getting here. But other than that, don't think there's anything else left to say. Next time we'll speak, I don't really know. This is that weird point. There's not a lot of news going on, not a lot of talking points. You know, we've done our grades, done our mailbag. Don't know what else there really is up next.
We've done, as what Kevin Adams would call, our due diligence. And we're just waiting around.
Yep. So guess we'll see you when we see you next. But you know, we'll still be active on Sabres Twitter. So stay tuned to our socials.
Shout out the Bandits too. They completed the three-peat
Every time. That's
They
right.
completed
They're a
the three-peat.
dynasty now. They're a real dynasty.
I think they've been a
Three-
dynasty, but they
3 in a row.
cemented it.
Nope. 3 in a row is
Not
the
getting
line.
in this conversation again.
3 in a row is a dynasty. All right, folks. We'll talk to you sometime in the future. See you then. Take care. And as always, go Sabres.
Go Sabres.
Go Sabres.